G'day, I'm Paul. Sorry, I'm a bit sick today, but I'm keen to run you through this. It is the BYD Sealion 6. Bit of a funny name, but it is the name they've given their plug-in hybrid mid-size SUV for the Australian market. And it's a good compromise for those people that don't want a full electric vehicle, but still want to have some kind of electric vehicle capability. This is also subject to the FBT exemption for a novated lease. So there are some tax benefits to get one of these today as well. Now, what does this compete with? So Outlander plug-in hybrid, also Mazda CX-60 plug-in hybrid, both significantly more expensive than this. Even in its top spec, this is priced at just under $53,000, which I think is incredible value for money. If that is too expensive, this is the premium all-wheel drive version. The front-wheel drive version kicks off at under 50 grand. So there is sort of a compelling argument there regardless of which option you go for. Today we're going to do a detailed review of this car. So if you do want to skip ahead to other parts of this review, you can use the time codes that are on the screen, or if you're on YouTube, you can scroll down and use the chapters below. And are you in the market for a new plug-in hybrid SUV? If so, have you heard of Help Me CarExpert? All you need to do is go to Google, type in Help Me CarExpert, or scan the QR code on your screen. It will take you to the CarExpert website. It's not just me or Sean doing the video stuff. We're like a big company, 60 full-time employees, and on our website you're going to find news, reviews, and also our car chooser tool. If you're unsure which car you want, all you do is enter in all of your requirements. It'll spit out a stack of options. You can read the reviews, watch the videos, and then we can even put you in touch with one of our friendly dealers. Now let's talk about the design. So your optional colors are $900, a little on the expensive side in my opinion, but I guess it's offset by the rest of the car not being too expensive. On the styling front, styling is entirely subjective, but in my opinion, I actually think this looks pretty good. Full LED headlights at the front here with this sort of LED daytime running light, LED indicators, just LED everything. I think that they've done a really good job with just making this a very modern vehicle. And BYD actually took a designer from a very well-known car company, well, didn't take him, but influenced him to come over and probably get paid a lot of money to make cars that look decent, because sometimes some of those Chinese market cars, they just look a bit weird, and this, on the other hand, actually just looks really nice and stylish. BYD logo on the front there. You've got these sort of shadow chrome highlights down the bottom there as well. Front camera there too. Now, around the side here, let's have a look at these wheels. 19-inch alloy wheels. There's machine finish on the outside there, piano black on the inside, and then you've got these plastic wheel arches as well. Despite this being an all-wheel drive vehicle and having a couple of off-road modes, only has a ground clearance of around 170 mil, so you're not really going to be doing any off-road driving there, but it'll be enough to take you to a campsite or something like that. I just noticed this too, that actually, it's like a clamshell bonnet there. It overlaps on the sides there, so it gives it a little bit of a sort of unique design perspective as well. You've got a camera off to the side there, NFC as well, so you can get inside the car without having a physical key, which is cool. Indicator built into that wing mirror as well. You've got roof rails, full glass roof there as well, privacy glass, and then come around to the back with me. You have full LED tail lights, very nice looking design there with that sort of finish that goes all the way along the top. You have BYD Sealion 6, BYD logo there, and then DMI all-wheel drive. So that means plug-in hybrid and all-wheel drive drivetrain there as well. Little diffuser down the bottom there, and then a hidden exhaust pipe as well. Shark fin aerial up the top there too. So let me know what you reckon about the design of this. There is actually a Sealion 7, which is the full electric version of this vehicle that will compete with stuff like the Tesla Model Y. That is going to be coming as well. So it'll be interesting to see where they price that, because Tesla Model Y now starts at $55,900 in Australia. So this is kind of close to that figure. And I can't see them pricing the electric version of this much higher than this. So yeah, I'll be keen to see how that plays out. Let me know what you reckon in the comments section below. Would you consider one of these? Let me know what your thoughts are on the design as well. I'm keen for your feedback. So we are inside the Sealion 6. This is what the key looks like. You've got lock, unlock, boot, remote start, and then BYD down there. Proximity sensing key, so you can leave that in your pocket. You've got a start button just there, but you also have NFC as well, so if you don't want to have the key, you don't have to either. Have a look at this interior. It starts from under $50,000, and this looks seriously luxe. I mean, have a look at this. The screen turns. Crazy stuff. I mean, who would have thought in this day and age we would have a screen that can do magic tricks like that for a car that is 50 grand? And a lot of time people, they complain about Chinese cars here in Australia, and I look at those complaints and I go, 50 grand these days gets you nothing from mainstream brands. So yes, if you want to go spend another $20,000 or $30,000 on a mainstream brand that has this kind of interior, go for your life. But some people can't afford that at the moment, and to think that you can get this type of car for such a little amount of money, I think is pretty incredible to see. So anyway, that's my mini rant over. Now, in terms of materials and stuff, you've got this sort of faux leather across the dashboard there. It's all nice and soft. It continues down here as well. You've got all sorts of different colors and materials to work with here, and it just gives it that sort of luxury feel and look about it. And given that the only real difference between the entry level and this is the drivetrain, there are a couple of spec differences. You are getting pretty much the same thing in the entry level as well, which I think is pretty nice to see. Now, in terms of your touch points, that is soft just there, soft on the door as well. How soft are they? Well, I'll be keen to tell you when Sean finds a durometer that he lost. He's going to overlay some footage of that here so you can get a feel for what that looks like. Now, in terms of build quality, what is that like? That is absolutely solid. Absolutely solid. Let me know, do you own a BYD? What has it been like in terms of reliability? Always keen to hear from owners. Let me know in the comments section down below. Now, what does our door slam sound like? So let's talk about infotainment. Have a look at that. I showed you that it turns and stuff like that, but almost 16 inches in size. It's like a little computer there on the dashboard. And it's actually a pretty decent infotainment system. So in the top corner, you can actually see the quality of the air inside and outside the cabin, which is a useful sort of feature to have. You have inbuilt Spotify, inbuilt satellite navigation, which is handy because if you don't want to have a phone connected all the time, I'm going to go through 10,000 conditions here, you do have the ability to have internal GPS as well. So it means that it will all just work and there's no sort of real drama there. My goodness, how many disclaimers are there? And that includes traffic and other sort of key information. So you're not really losing out by not using that screen. In addition to that, you have all of the apps that are built into the vehicle. And then you have additional apps as well that you can add to the vehicle too, which is a fairly decent thing. You can also change the themes here as well. Now, I did mention earlier, I wonder what this camera up here does. I thought it might be a dash cam, but I cannot see anywhere in here or in the sort of settings or anything like that about dash cameras. So if there is one and I'm missing something here, let me know in the comments section below. Maybe it's in the store or something like that. I don't know, but I would love to know if there is actually a dash cam available. And because to me, that would be just a logical thing to have, and to have the ability to record to the car. So let me know in the comments section below. The other feature the car has is an assistant too. Let's see how well that works. I tested this in the Chery Tiggo 8 Pro Max Ultimate the other day, and it was actually able to open the sunroof. I'll see if it works here. Open the sunroof. Oh yeah. All right. Close the sunroof. Let's try something a bit more difficult. Let's try open the driver's window. Oh, nice. Open the boot.
Opening the trunk.
Oh, yes. Look at this. It does everything. Close the boot and the driver's window.
Closing the trunk. Say that again.
Close the driver's window. Okay, can't do two at the same time, but it's a heck of a lot more than most other cars will do, which is pretty cool to see. Now, smartphone mirroring, you have both Apple CarPlay and Android Auto. Look at this. Apple CarPlay is wireless and it takes up literally the entire screen. That is pretty impressive. Now, one thing Sean did notice when it is in Apple CarPlay, you can't rotate the screen, so it only works when it's in landscape, which is interesting. And this is what Android Auto looks like. There you go, full screen, wireless as well. Also doesn't rotate, so yeah, not the end of the world. Sound system, AM, FM, DAB digital radio, and you have a 10-speaker Infinity branded sound system, which is a pretty decent sound system. Head of the driver, 12.3-inch display. It's a bit of a sort of busy display, but you can sort of adjust the look and feel of that, plus the different themes and all that sort of stuff if required. But yeah, I just think it's probably a fair bit going on there. So sometimes when you do glance down, you're like, oh, you know, what is happening here? So yeah, just something to... Now, what about your safety? So you've got autonomous emergency braking with pedestrian and cyclist detection. You've got an auto dimming rear vision mirror. You You have a blind spot monitor built into your wing mirror. You have front and rear parking sensors. You also have radar cruise control with a semi-autonomous steering function, which we will test later on, and a 360 camera. I'll show you what that looks like. So quality of that isn't really very good. It's sort of very grainy and not exactly the clearest of views, which is a little bit disappointing. I would have thought that they would probably have a better take on that. I mean, even that, I can't even really tell what I'm looking at there. It's just such a weird angle to have. So yeah, they could probably do with some slightly sharper cameras. And this is what the horn sounds like. So practicality, we'll kick off with connectivity. You've got 2 wireless phone chargers up the top here. You've got USB A and C down the bottom there with the 12-volt outlet. Cup holders, enormous glove box in the center there for storing things. Have a look at this too. So you've got a seatbelt cutter, and you've also got a glass breaker as well if you get in a situation where you need either of those. That is installed there, ready to access. You've got a little storage nook here next to the driver's knee as well, plus a reasonably sized glove box and sunglass holder up the top. And on the comfort front, you have dual zone automatic climate control with an air purification system. You've also got heated and cooled seats as well. So fairly decent setup there. The seats are quite comfortable too and quite beautifully designed as well. Both the driver and passenger front seats are electrically adjustable. So driver's side, you can go forwards or backwards. Backrest can go forwards, backwards. You can lift the front of the seat, back of the seat, no lumbar adjustment. And then steering offers both tilts and reach adjustment. And on our reach test, all of this stuff is fairly easy to reach while you're driving. Righto, second row. Knee room is pretty good. Toe room, a little bit compromised there. It's quite cramped. Headroom is okay, but not amazing. You've got map pockets here, air vents, USB A and C ports, plus a little bit of storage down there. Center armrest here with 2 cup holders, ISOFIX points with top tether points as well. And then the sunroof as well, which opens up and has a little shade that is retractable too. Now, a window test. So it's auto up and down. Does it go all the way down? Yes, it does. Good news. Now let's talk cargo space. So you have a powered tailgate. You don't have a huge amount of space here to kind of work with. Just over 400 litres, so sort of okay, but not amazing. Beneath the cargo floor, you have tyre repair kit because there is no spare tyre. I'll show you what it looks like with the bags in there. So here's the one bag, and then other bag as well. So, you know, it's okay, but you know, once you put a pram or something in there, you're going to be pretty compromised in terms of storage capacity. If you do want a little bit more space though, you can drop the second row. Fortunately, not from back here, so you're going to have to go around the side and lower that. Once you do drop that though, you have a little over 1,400 litres of cargo space. Now, before we go for a drive, let's talk about the battery system. Got a driving range of just over 110 kilometres. Battery is a little over 18 kilowatt hours in terms of capacity. You have both AC and DC charging. It's only a slow DC charge though, about 18 kilowatt max DC charging capacity. Max AC charging capacity is 7 kilowatts. But given a sort of big battery, it's not going to take you forever to charge the vehicle. You've also got the ability for vehicle to load as well, which is a really handy feature. So pretty decent setup, I reckon. Okay, so we have just hit the road in the Sealion 6. Now, this is quite an interesting setup here in terms of the plug-in hybrid drivetrain. I mentioned before, this is available as a front-wheel drive or an all-wheel drive, but in both configurations, basically there's an internal combustion engine and then 1 or 2 electric motors paired with a battery, a LFP battery that basically drives the vehicle. But it's not true all the time. There are actually some instances where the internal combustion engine is actually driving the front wheels directly. So it is only limited and where there are efficiency gains, but basically most of the time the battery is actually driving the wheels, which is quite a sort of a novel way to do things, and it means you have slightly less moving parts. You don't need to worry about a transmission, but you do have to worry then about a generator and an inverter and that kind of thing. Now, in terms of the internal combustion engine, it's a 1.5 litre turbocharged 4-cylinder petrol engine. It makes 96 kilowatts of power and 220 newton meters of torque. So not a huge amount there, but it's enough there to charge the battery as required. And then the two electric motors produce 150 kilowatts and 120 kilowatts respectively between the front and the rear. And that basically gives you a combined power and torque output of 238 kilowatts of power and 550 newton meters of torque. So there's some really healthy numbers there, and you can drive this either in electric mode or hybrid electric. So if I go over to electric mode, I can basically feed the throttle in all the way down to the kickdown switch, and it's giving me, it's reading out there, 134 kilowatts of power and giving me a nice push in the back as well. But if I do want that extra kick, I basically go all the way to the floor, hit the kick down, and then it goes into its hybrid electric mode where it can give me the balance of that power and torque to really give this everything that it needs. So it means that you have the flexibility of driving this in day-to-day traffic without having to switch the internal combustion engine on at all, which I think is pretty good. Now I'll flick this back to hybrid electric mode there. The other benefit of this whole system is that it is so quiet inside the cabin. You barely hear a thing. Even when the internal combustion engine does kick on, it barely makes any noise at all, which is quite impressive. The only real noise that you do hear inside the cabin is annoying warnings like that, which I'll switch off in a second, and also the tyres, which can be a little bit roary at highway speeds, especially on coarse chip surfaces, but you know, it's not the end of the world. It's one of my gripes with modern cars today. To comply with all the safety requirements, they have so many of these annoying beeps and buzzers and bongs, so I basically go through and switch it all off here. So lane departure warning, kill that. Emergency lane keeping, kill that, and then also kill the driver attention warning, and that kills most of the annoying stuff there, and also the traffic sign recognition as well. I normally turn that off as well, but once that is all off, it is pretty distraction free and very straightforward. Now, what does all that feel like behind the wheel? Let me give that a punch in hybrid mode. Yeah, that is really good. It's just nice and consistent because there isn't a transmission. You're not sitting there waiting for everything to happen. It is really instantaneous, and it's a much better hybrid system than what we've sampled in GWM products, which have this enormous torque output, but it just delivers it all in one hit, and then it just disappears really quickly as well. So this feels like a much better integration, and they've thought about this a whole lot more in terms of how it feels behind the wheel. Now, let's talk about fuel economy. Now, it is a little bit tricky with these plug-in hybrids. They quote a ridiculous figure, like the official number here is under 2 litres per 100 Ks, and the reason it's not really realistic is that you're either going to be driving this its entire electric range, or you're going to be doing a mix of both, and when they do the tests, it's kind of a very definitive number. So I prefer to look at what we're getting in real terms here, and if I flick through our fuel economy menu, we are currently sitting on 4.3 litres per 100 Ks. So if you do look at that number, that is actually pretty impressive. And it shows you that you can actually get reasonable economy there if you're getting a mix of using the internal combustion engine and the battery as well. So that is one of the benefits of these plug-in hybrids. If you are consistent with charging at home, you don't have to travel a longer distance day to day. You really are getting the benefits of an electric vehicle, whereas if you do need to travel longer distance, you're then getting the benefit of an internal combustion vehicle as well. And just on that economy figure, one thing that is worth keeping in mind is that you have to feed this with 95 RON premium unleaded fuel, so it is going to cost a little bit more to fuel each time you go to that fuel pump. Now let's do our sine waves. Get the speed up to 130 Ks an hour. It's the maximum speed limit in Australia, and also the speed we do across the sine waves here to see what body control is like. See how well the ride and handling is tuned. Oh wow. Yeah, that is not very good at all. So very floaty over that. And look, if you're going to be driving this in and around the city, it's fine. The floatiness means you're getting a really soft ride, and it soaks up sort of speed humps, cobblestones, all that sort of stuff fairly easily. I reckon when we go for a faster drive here as well, the handling probably isn't going to be there as well. Again, not an issue, it's not a sports car, but just something worth keeping in mind. Now, what's it like on the worst road in Australia? We do this at 90 Ks an hour. Gives us an idea of what the ride is like. See, it's really comfortable here, and that is one of the benefits of having such a soft ride. Yeah, but the softness isn't really doing that well over the condensed sine waves there. It doesn't give the suspension any time to settle, and it's sort of just riding over the top. So yeah, look, perfect for the city, but if you are driving out in the country, it just feels a little bit underdone there, and they really should look at doing a local ride and handling tune. Okay, so drive modes, you've got a stack of them to choose from here. Eco, normal, sport, snowfield, sand land, muddy land. Dive over to sport. Go for a faster drive around the track here. We test all of the cars back to back in the same way just to see what they feel like. And it sort of gives us an idea of what the chassis is like and the body control. Oh yeah, fair bit of body roll there. But tell you what, it has got some pep out of the corners. You stand on that throttle and you really, yeah, that body roll is a little bit nauseous. Yeah, you step on the throttle and it really picks up and moves. It has got a lot of mumbo there, and I think that is the benefit of having this kind of arrangement where you've got two electric motors that have a fair bit of power output. Really sort of moves the vehicle along nicely. Steering feels okay. Yeah, super bouncy as you hit bumps sort of mid-corner there. Brake pedal feel isn't very good either, so it's a shame it's so floaty and not really well composed here, because I reckon they could actually do a sporty version of this that brings out a bit more. There you go, it actually hauls along nicely on the back straight. So yeah, look, I think that it's fine for just sort of normal driving, but once the speed picks up a little bit, it can get a little unruly, which is fine for this type of vehicle. You don't expect it to be, you know, some sports car or anything like that, but I think they really do need a local ride and handling tune. I think it would complement this, because if it was a little more well planted, this would actually be really fun to drive, because the tyres seem to hold on pretty nicely there. Now let's talk about road noise. I mentioned earlier that the tyres have a bit of road noise that comes into the cabin. There is also some wind noise as well that you notice sort of about the windows there. We put it up against our calibrated sound meter, and this is how it all went. What about your visibility? So the wing mirrors are nice and big. I can see clearly down the front there as well. Visibility out the back isn't very good though. It's a very narrow window. I'd love to see a digital rear view mirror that just gives you better vision out the back there, especially if you have the vehicle full of passengers and perhaps luggage as well. Okay, so it is time to test the semi-autonomous functions. We use the 3 outer lanes here on the bowl to see how well it works. So I'll get that set at 70 k's an hour. Okay, so there's 70 k's an hour there, and then that looks like it's activated. So we'll just see how well it holds itself within the lane here and how well it centers itself within the lane as well. It's doing an okay job there in the first lane, so we'll jump over to next lane over. So as it gets steeper here, the car's going to have to put more steering input in to hold it within the lane. So we'll see how well this works. So actually, okay, there we go. It's kind of veering towards a line there, but then coming back up towards the center. That's okay there. Let's jump over to the outermost lane. See what this is like. It may not want to actually connect us in here, because I did notice with some cars, it really only engages that steering mode if the steering wheel is straight, and we can't get it to be straight up here because we have to obviously hold the car up as it rolls itself down. So that's not activating there at all. So works fine in lanes 1 and 2, but yeah, it sort of just hugs the inner line there just a little bit too much for my liking. Okie dokie, time to do a little bit of performance testing. So that claimed 0 to 100 time of under 6 seconds, which is pretty bloody quick. So we'll slot this down into sport mode, and I'll also switch off stability control as well, just so we can get that little bit of slip off the line if required. I don't think it's got launch control or anything like that. So here we go. God, gets off the line, all right. A little lag there. All right, there's 100. We'll go through to 120 as well. There's 120. We'll just have a look at that figure. Yeah, I did notice there when the wheels slipped off the line, it cut torque briefly, So if that has affected the 0 to 100 time, we might try that one more time. Yeah, 7.21 seconds. So let's go back and we'll give that one more crack because it didn't quite work as anticipated. Yeah, it's a little bit hard here at the moment because it's wet in parts on the road. So I'm just trying to avoid the wet spots because that will cause the wheels to slip off the line. So give that one more shot, see if we can get a better run at that with stability control off. Okay, here we go. There we go, that was better. And it's also waiting to switch the internal combustion engine on as well. I would have thought it'd be more keen to do that at full throttle, but let's see how that went. Oh, seatbelt is strangling me. Oh, there we go. So 0 to 100 that time around, 7.18 seconds. So it's still 1 second off the mark. And I can feel that most of that is coming down to the internal combustion engine switching off. 80 to 120, 4.52 seconds. So that number is actually pretty impressive because it shows you that once the internal combustion engine is up and running, it actually starts moving along quite nicely there. So, all right, let's go do a stop from 100 k's an hour. This gives us a good idea of what the brake and tyre package is like. Okay, so there's just over 100. Okie dokie. 100 to 0, 3.11 seconds, 41.06 meters. So not a hugely impressive stopping time or distance. And I did notice when we were going around the track there on our fast to drive, the brake pedal started to sort of fade a little bit as it sort of pushed on. So I think perhaps the braking system could do with a bit more meat on it as well. Now, how quick does it go in reverse? Let's find out. Only 27 kilometers an hour. So the BYD Sealion 6, what do we reckon? Tell you what, if you are in the market for a plug-in hybrid, this is one of the better ones out there. This drivetrain is fantastic. Got plenty of punch, really sort of honest economy too, and you're getting a decent amount of range out of that battery system. So it is the best of all worlds. You've got DC charging as well, which is also good news. Where it is let down is the handling and the brakes as well. But given that isn't the core requirement for this vehicle, that is something that probably won't affect most people, but I do hope that BYD actually brings some engineers out, does some local ride and handling tuning to really sort the chassis out, because drivetrain's great, and I think that with a decent chassis beneath the skin, it'd actually do some really good damage there on a nice mountain road. So yeah, great value for money and very economical as well. So let me know what you reckon in the comments section below. Are you buying one of these? What did you look at instead? Did you avoid forking out for the Mazda CX-60 because it is a big step up in terms of price? Keen for your feedback below. Now, if you did enjoy this video, please make sure you like it and you share it with your mates. And if you haven't done so already, subscribe to our channel and press the bell icon. But until next time, take it easy.